Okay, welcome back. I stopped the video because it was hitting about 11 minutes. So now let's just dive into graphing the quadratic. Okay, so our example is y is equal to 2x squared. The a value is 2, right? 2 is a positive number, and because it is positive, it is concave up, right? So our parabola is going to be in this direction. Okay, so now we went ahead and filled in the XY table. For now, because we are working with vertex form, H and K are 0 because we're just keeping it simple so that you learn what the A value does. And that's what this video and this assignment is just in regards to the A value. All right, so because of that, the vertex is going to be 0, 0. We'll build on that though. So X is 0, and then we're gonna go ahead and follow the number line and go left 1, right 1, so negative 1, 1, and then we're going to go left 2 units, right 2 units, and so that takes us to negative 2, 2. Okay, so a lot of times I know this XY table is built vertically, so I will refer to it as up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, even though the number line isn't necessarily built that way. I'm just trying to keep symmetry or equidistant from the 0. And I'll go over the number line. So when we move over to this paper, I'll go ahead and cover that equidistant number line. Okay. All right. So here we go. So we picked values 0, negative 1, negative 2, and then positive 1, positive 2. And we are going to substitute our input values, right? These are our input values. And we will solve using order of operations to get our output values. So here we go. Okay, we're going to let x equal 0, and I will be substituting it into this x here. Okay, so I 2, 0 squared, right? All right, order of operations is your PEMDAS. All right, parentheses, exponent, this is first. Do not multiply first. That is the third letter. Multiply, it's after. This comes second. So we first are going to take care of our exponent, and our exponent here is squared. So we will first square, secondly multiply. So first square, then we will multiply. Okay. All right. So this is first. So what is 0 squared? 0. Secondly, we multiply. And so what is 2 times 0? 0. Oh, I totally went into there. Well, that's terrible. Oh, well. Okay, so let's come down here. I hope that does not confuse you. All right, let x equal negative 1. So y is equal to 2 negative 1 squared. Again, order of operations, we exponent first. So first square. And so what is negative 1 squared, right? It doesn't mean doubled. Negative 1 squared, right, is positive 1. Okay, so your calculator will perform the order of operations for you. We're going to go back and we're going to put that in. So 2 negative 1 squared is positive 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Right? And we'll come back and we'll fill in the XY table according to our work. Okay. All right. Now, if you have this calculator, we're solving it by hand, and you should be able to solve it by hand. But you can also put what you see is what you type, and your calculator will perform the order of operations for you. So what's 2 quantity 0 squared? 0. And that's what we have here. Okay, so then put in the other one. Quantity 2 negative 1 squared. And there is our positive 2, and that's what we have here as well. Okay. So as long as you use the correct buttons and use parentheses, your proper grouping symbols, you should be fine. That noise is this cat And she feels like sharpening her claws at the moment. Hey, I'm trying to record. Soda pop. I'm trying to record. Shh. Say hi. Okay. Oh, well, maybe she wants to participate. Okay. I need you to move. I need you to move. I need to teach. Oh, gosh. Hey. I need to teach. Is this unprofessional? This is Soda Pop. She's 8 months old. She's very fluffy, and we got her 8 months ago when Rancho Cucamonga, the shelter by Quake Stadium, had cleared the shelter. So you adopted for free. She was only 6 or 7 weeks, and that's when we got her. But okay, she's cute and all, but she needs to get out of the way. Come on. Oh, great. She's taking the paper with her. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I dropped her kind of hard. She's fine. They land on their feet. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so now we're going to let x equal 1. So you're going to let x equal 1, and again, we're substituting it still into our quadratic y equal 2x squared. All right, so y is equal to 2, 1 squared. Again, order of operations, we're going to go ahead and square first. So I get 2, 1, and we get 2, right? Okay, so now let's go ahead and do this one. Y is equal to 2, substitute negative 2 into this x, right? We're just substituting into our quadratic. And you get negative 2 squared, right, is positive 4. You could use a calculator, right? See, negative 2 squared is positive 4. If you wanted to type in, because you have this calculator, order of operations, and you wanted to verify your work, we're going to get 8 as our output value. Because negative 2 squared is 4, and then 2 times 4 is 8. So we do get the same value as the calculator, okay? And this calculator is anywhere from $10 to $15. It's amazing. All right, so now let's throw in positive 2. So y is equal to 2, 2 squared. Again, order of operations, you first exponent, or you first square. And 2 squared is 4, and so I get 8. Okay? My kid is playing with the cat as I'm trying to teach. That's Lucas. Okay, let's fill in our XY table by the values, our output values, okay? Okay, so when we substituted negative 2 for x, I got negative, when x was negative 2, I outputted 8. Okay, when substituted x negative 1, we got positive 2. When we substituted 0, we got 0. When we substituted positive 1, we got 2. And when we substituted positive 2, positive 8. Okay, now when you're looking at your values here, you see 0, 2, 2, 8, 8. There's 2 pairs where the output values are actually equal. They're congruent. Okay. There's a reason for that. When we put them into the XY table, I will always ask you to put your vertex point in the 3rd slot. So we are going to have 5 slots because you're going to have 5 points that you're going to look for. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. So it's going to be in the 3rd line, 3rd slot, 3rd space, however you want to refer to it as. This is our vertex. And for right now, we're doing easy problems. So the vertex will be 0, 0, right? Okay. It is not coincidental that our 1st and our 5th are the same, and our 2nd and our 4th are the same. So what I mean is, notice, these 2 are equal. or the same value. Oh my gosh, I swear this cat. And these, oh, it doesn't really go. And these two are equal. And it is not coincidental. All right, quadratics have symmetry built into it. So when you solve a point, you are actually going to get a secondary point that is equidistant from the vertex. Okay, so what do I mean by all that? I mean, we're going to graph it, but then we'll come back and we'll review it again. Okay, take our number line, right? So you guys know just your basic number line. Your origin is 0, right? So that's your center point. And then from there, if you go to the right, if you count to the right or follow the number line to the right, you get +1, +2, +3, +4, +5. She's playing with her tail. Look at her. All right, anyways. Okay, if you follow to the left and you count -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, equidistant, equally distant, right? That's what it said in the previous video. Equidistant means at equal distances or equally apart. So what I mean by that is, wait, which color did I use for purple? Okay, -2s and 2s. I just want to make sure I'm color coding correctly. If this is my 0, 2 and -2 are both 2 units away. 1, 2. They're both 2 units away from, 0. And -2 is 2 units away from 0. Mindless of direction of positive, negative, right? To the right, to the left. +2 is 2 units to the right. -2 is 2 units to the left. So they are equidistant. So now if I look at 1 and -1, 1 is 1 unit to the right, -1 is 1 unit to the left of 0. That is equidistant. So what happens is, because we're dealing with a parabola that has the characteristic of symmetry, equidistant will appear in our XY table as well as our graph. So when we graph it, we'll come back to this. And so because of that, because they're equally distant from our vertex or from our origin here, 0, our XY table represents that. So although you have to find 8 distinct points to graph a parabola, you're really putting in the work for 3. Your vertex, right? As we go to the more difficult problems, you'll have to look for this, but it's quick. After that, you're going to go in one direction. It's up to you. Whether you go positive or negative, it's up to you. But I'm going to go 1 away, which is -1. So here I'm going 1 to the left, which is -1. So then 1 to the right is +1. Those two output values are going to be equal. If they are not equal, you did something wrong. They should always, always be equal because they are equidistant from our vertex or from our origin, our center point. Okay, so here, as far as -2, -2 is 2 units away from 0, our vertex. +2 is 2 units away from our vertex 0. So because they are both equally distant or equidistant, our y values or our output values will be equal, always. So you're always going to have the symmetry here as long as you put your vertex in the 3rd position. We will have that. Okay. Okay, so now let's plot these points. So this is point -2, 8. This is point -1, 2. This is point 0, 0. This is point 1, 2, and point 2, 8. And so now let's plot on my XY coordinate system. All right, so 0, 0 is here. It's really, I have to... I'm basically teaching one-armed. Okay, and my left arm is getting tired. Okay, -1, 2 is here. 1, 2, here's my point. -2, 8, -2, 8. 2, 8. Oh, now this is, okay. We're going to connect the points, and that is our parabola. Now I got to make sure I curve it well. Oh, it's when I was just, my hand's tired. Okay. Hold on. Oh, shoot. It's supposed to be a curve, but since I'm doing this one-handed, okay, I did the best I can right now. Okay, this is our parabola. So here's our point. Negative 2, 8, negative 1, 2, 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 8. Voila, there's your quadratic. It's beautiful. Okay, now let's talk about back to this equality and this equidistant word, right? This equidistant. Okay, if you notice, here is my turning point. This is my vertex. This here is your vertex. And I will label that in a second. This here is my vertex point, 0, 0 here, okay? Okay, so, oops, I'm writing on the desk. I'm trying to put this away. Okay, now, if you notice, we covered what was called axes of symmetry. It is a vertical, where am I? It is a vertical line dash that divides a parabola into two congruent halves. It always intersects with the vertex. Okay, so our axes of symmetry would be, I want a more solid, that's fine. Okay. It's kind of difficult because our axis of symmetry is going to be right on top of our, so I need a really bright, let's get bright red. Okay, so here my axis of symmetry is going to be red. So the axis of symmetry is going to be a dashed line, and it will intersect with the vertex, and this is our axis of symmetry. I am so sorry if this video is all over the place. I hope it's not making you dizzy. Okay, so this dashed line is our axis of symmetry, AOS, and it is x equals 0. And we're going to talk about x equals 0. It ends up being the h value. Again, we have to build on it, but for now, it cuts through the axes. It is always the same value as the x part to our vertex. It is not coincidental that these two are the same numbers. Once we start building on it, you'll see how it varies, but for now, this is just your super basic beginning graphing quadratics. Okay, now let's talk about our equality. Okay, if you notice blue, -1 and 1, -1 is 1 unit to the left of 0, 1 is 1 unit to the right of 0. They both outputted the same y value, which was 2. It is not coincidental that they are equal because here it is. They are both 1 unit here away. So notice they're 1 unit away from that dash axis of symmetry line, 1 unit away. So this is your equality. This is your equidistance. So if I grab the other, -2, 2, it's -2, 8, 2, 8. -2 is 2 units away from 0. +2 is 2 units away from 0, right? Because 0 is our vertex x value. And so they produce the same y output value, 8 and 8. And that is because if you come down to the graph, this is -2, 8, this is +2, 8, but they are still two equally 2 units away from the axis of symmetry. So even though you do have to produce 5 distinct coordinate points off of this XY table, you're really only doing 3 because they come in pairs. Now the vertex is its own specific unique point, but every point after that, they come in pairs. So you're either finding the top 2 or the bottom 2. And once you actually build confidence in your solving skills, meaning once you build confidence that you do know how to substitute, you know how to follow order of operations, you have absolute confidence in your solving to come up, right, with basis off this arithmetic to get our output value, and you understand that the number line, then it's not really you solving for 5 values, you're really solving for 2, because then you get the other 2, and then you can go ahead and go to your graphing, to your plotting, and then you get your quadratic or your parabola. Okay, so that's it. That is my graph. This is, I don't want to write in the same, y equal to x squared. And so that is this parabola. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 where the a value is positive, probably like 3 and 4 or 3 and 1. And you're going to go ahead and do that. And then, of course, tomorrow I'll add in the a value where a is, where a is negative, and then we'll work with concave down. And then the following day we'll put in the h, and then, of course, the k as well, and we'll build off of that. We have a lot of time. I realize some of you are going to work faster than others, and then I'll go ahead and get that email out as far as us Zooming and meeting up, because I have about 167 or 172 students. So you're only allowed to 40 to a Zoom, but I realize with you having siblings and parents working at home, I'll have it all as the same password to get in, and then you'll just click on the link and then go ahead and type in the password for the Zoom. If you can't get in, there'll be another time, but I realize I'm going to have like a morning one, an afternoon one, and then an evening, so that you can find whichever one works for you, because I realize you have other classes. And then if you then, once we communicate with each other, if say you want to know a student specifically that was like your partner and you miss them so much in class and you want to know when they Zoomed in with me, I'll be more than happy to tell you. And then we can kind of clean it up where you can make sure you Zoom with, say, certain people you want to communicate with. And if you have questions, I will clarify, but you're not going to miss any lectures. All my lectures will be on YouTube so that you can learn at your own pace. You can pause it, you can stop it, you can upload it. If say your mom needs you to throw the trash out, or you have to, like, I don't know, play with your sibling or help somebody out, you can go ahead and pause me and then come back when you have time, okay? As far as the work as well, we're going to move ahead with that. And then I am going to set up assessments for you to add points onto your previous 3 tests. I haven't published out the test that you took right before that March 13th, right before we went out on this quarantine. I have them graded. I'm going to email you by pictures your test, and then I'm going to publish everything out, which is everything that I have. And then when I went that day to the classroom to pick up items, I also picked up the word searches, the King's Ball word searches. And so I will then go ahead, when I Zoom with you, I'll ask you, like, do you just want me to throw it in at this point? And then for those of you that have it, you can still complete it, take a picture of it, send it to me. Remember the King's Ball word search with the princes and the princess? I mean, the princes, no princesses, princes. You can go ahead and send that to me, and I'll get those points in. And then we'll get you guys added extra points. And so I'll let you guys know when I Zoom with you. And then if I haven't, I'll try and get a hold of you separately. But I'll send out an email as far as the Zoom. And then it'll start up tomorrow, and I'll give out 3 times so at least I can get a hold of you, okay? All right, I miss you guys. I'm so excited to, like, see your faces and your smiles and your laughter, okay? You can tell me whatever you want, okay? All right, love you guys. Bye.